Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April work meeting with Virgin Planning and Zoning. The time is 5:34. In attendance are Commissioner Claudia Anderson, myself, Darlene Pope, and Pro Tem Lee Dowd. We have 5 items on our agenda tonight. The first one is to take a chance to go back and revisit the grading ordinance with the input we received last week. And if you want, I sent one summary to everyone, just so it could be a reminder of what was discussed. And so we could double check.
So it's been amended since last week.
No,
I thought that.
no, hasn't been.
It hasn't.
Oh, we had enough of public notice because we hadn't amended it. Right?
Right.
And then we got some additional comments and we just wanted to double check on those. All right. Does everyone have their copy? It's under the work meeting and the systems. I'm just looking, making sure I have my report of notes. We all have our notes as well. One comment referenced the idea of affordable housing related to stamped engineering plans. And Riker, at our last meeting, I had asked, and you said you would check, what is the estimated cost to have that done?
I neglected to check in on that, so I do not have an answer as far as the cost associated with that. I do think that, I mean, that will vary based on the project. It just depends on what's required for the specific project, really.
And I wanted the public to know, based on a letter we received, I believe it was, and from some comments, we did go back and research, and I believe it's updated. Correct me if I'm wrong, Riker, is it for 1,000 cubic yards?
Yeah.
And that is just, we looked at, I personally and others on commission looked at many different municipalities, and that seems to be the standard. And Riker's recommendation on that was to keep it at that.
And I spoke with the town engineer about that a little bit as well, and he suggested as well staying at 1,000 cubic yards.
Okay, all right. So I just wanted people to know that we did double check that, because I know, I think it was Councilman Dixon, who also had a question about that.
Doesn't the town council decide what the fees are going to be?
Yes.
So we don't need to worry about that? Okay.
So we would determine what the stamped plan is.
No, cause I believe what you're referring to is what the cost would be for
The
us
stamp.
is to go to
Get it,
their engineer to get it,
stamped
to
plan.
get an engineered plan put
And
together.
it was the difference between the two types.
Yeah, the difference between standard grading permit and an engineered grading permit. The engineered grading permit has more requirements, so obviously that is going to cost more. But again, it'll vary by the type of project, so the amount of dirt they're moving that exceeds 1,000 cubic yards. The complexity of the project, and then it'll vary by the individual engineer that they choose to go with, so.
And then, the next comment that I have that I wanted to follow up on was the one about section C. Uh-huh. And that had to do with, grading permit being part of the final app. Everything has to be complete before you get a grading permit.
Right, so the length of time you have is not as short as it sounds if you're assuming that you start from the date you get that approval. But instead you start from the
And that grading.
final approval of all plan.
Yeah, and there was concern that grading must be connected to an approved use. And I think that's something that we've been given the charge to kind of work that clear, through Riker, who is a primary writer of this, right? So correct me if I'm misrepresenting you, okay? And then the section K, drainage. Another item on our is the general plan on, I guess, tonight, and that directly aligns with that, and the general plan comes from our open houses, our opportunities for comment, and the survey. And that's why we have that there. And then Lauren Campbell had also a question about the 60-day. But once we clarified that everything would be approved, and then after everything is approved, you have 60 days to begin just the grading.
So a comment, Chuck brought up, currently it says, 60 days, has to commence within 60 days from issuance. But it would be more appropriate to be 60 days from notice to proceed.
Okay, from what?
From notice to proceed.
So are you, do you wanna, because that's our intent, right?
Yeah, so it would be more clear to state it that way
Okay.
in the ordinance, so I can make a note to amend it.
Okay, that would be great. And what was that language again? Notice to proceed.
Yeah, so notice to proceed rather than from issuance.
Perfect, that's good. Did anyone else have anything there?
No, I went through my needs, they were the same as yours.
All right. Now. I have something I would like a little bit of clarification on. And that is the exemptions number 1. I was wondering, what are the thoughts about where it says agricultural semicolon and then continues, that is totally exempt? I think that should be true in the agricultural zone. I do think that agricultural grading, if it's allowed in that zone, underlying zone, would be fine without a B permit. But just so the town has awareness of what's going on, is there any way, just to be notified of that, of like I don't know if you have to call it permit, or no fee attached, it's just, any grading done for agricultural purposes on land not zoned agricultural will require a non-fee permit. I was wondering if the adding of language like that would be possible, would be helpful. What are your thoughts, everybody?
I think it'd be helpful because I feel like everybody in town starts making phone calls and calling everybody that they know. So it feels like it would be easier on everyone, that we don't have everybody looking it up and calling each other and figuring it out. So
And
I
calling
like
the
it.
town.
yeah, calling the town and.
I agree. I mean, that specific language is fine. I mean, if something else that would accomplish the same thing, I listen to it.
So just to clarify, is the main concern that we just want the town to be notified when these exemptions come?
Because we do have some zones in which agricultural is, at this point, not allowed.
So
It's not a listed use.
Yeah.
In the ordinance.
my suggestion, rather than require a permit, we could amend the ordinance to include a pre-application,
Okay.
meeting. That would not have a fee associated with it, where an applicant could come in and say, hey, this is this is what I'm going to do. And then staff could inform them as to whether or not it falls under those exemptions.
Oh, for all exemptions.
Correct, yeah, so then the town is notified of it, town staff knows of it, and they know that the property owner or whoever's doing the work is exempt from the requirements of the grading permit.
I think it would just solve a lot of,
Yeah.
Property owners could then also
Yeah.
state that.
and it's, I just want to be
Staff
clear
told
that
them.
I support agricultural use in our town, because I think we want to keep
Well,
that,
they can,
right?
Oh, big time. Yeah,
I,
I do.
if I may, Madam Chair, and Riker and I had talked about this a bit, I think. What's key here is to make sure if somebody is claiming or requesting an ag exemption, that be vetted. Not assuming,
Yeah.
so we just have to find a mechanism that's appropriate.
How long would that take? Because
Yeah,
I know the
that was
town
my-
council wants us to get this to them.
I think we could add a simple exception.
Actually, like, and I don't know,
It could be administrative too, if, I don't know that it has to be in the language. but-
I would actually prefer it to be in language, but I actually
Okay.
like writer's pre-application for exemption, no fee, because it treats all of those.
And as long as we can make sure it doesn't take long, so.
Yeah,
They get access
So you can
to,
make the language reflect the opportunity for property owners to call in. Or to meet with staff, but then we can handle that. How that meeting is accomplished can be handled administratively, whether that's in person or a phone call.
So we could just say pre-application meeting required right in that first line of exemption.
Yeah, what we'll probably do is add it under the, yeah, right before we list the actual exemptions, then
Right.
we'll specify a pre-application process and then. Anyway, we'll all work with Mark.
As long as it's simple,
Yeah,
simple. And
The intent
Yeah,
there
it-
will be just to.
Everybody's on the same page. then.
Yeah,
because we don't want
Simple, it
to,
could be administrative, but not include a fee.
we don't want to have exemptions to simplify and then complicate. That would be counterproductive, but I do think there's advantage for the time of, staff especially. In having this, and then you can catch whether it's allowed or not and avoid that conundrum, or find a place in our code that we might need to change. Okay? What are the thoughts of the other commissioners on that?
Yeah.
I like that idea, Riker. I like your suggestion.
I like it. I mean, who knows how people will interpret these exemptions, you know, so it'd be better if the town, you know, could talk to them about it.
And it can be a benefit to the applicant as well,
Exactly.
if people start asking questions about it, they can have.
Yeah, they start giving them a hard
Cause we
time.
can have some sort of documentation that goes along with that, where, yeah, I can say I've already met with town staff, and they've determined that I'm exempt from these requirements.
Does anyone else, commissioners, have any good points on the grading ordinance? Or are you ready to move it forward? Question for Mark, about these changes. That change. That's the only change, right? And the change that you have to make.
Correct, so there's the change with the review timeline.
Correct.
There's the change with the pre-application process, which is a change in how grading permits are processed, or at least their exemptions are processed. And then there's the change that,
The notice to proceed.
from notice to proceed.
Yes. So you're about to ask if we're gonna need a public hearing, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna defer to our professional planner who's worked in Utah longer than I have.
I would suggest
Okay.
that you hold a hearing
Okay, no
and
problem.
then consider it for
Okay,
recommendation to the council.
yeah, we'll probably move this one forward after this. Alrighty, so the second item. Is is, the prohibited uses. And, maybe can you give me a review of that one?
Yeah, I mean, we started probably a year ago talking about, or having a list of prohibited uses, things that are prohibited everywhere.
At the behest of our town attorney.
Yes. And, so, I mean, I've gathered lists from the town. I haven't put them all in. I just thought this was a good place to start and we should talk about. Some of them you probably don't think should be prohibited, some of them there might be things that you think should be, and so. I made a couple of changes to it just today. Because I noticed a couple of things that were in there that shouldn't be.
Okay.
So. Like in view of, or not having. Two-family dwellings. Remove that, we need to get rid of, I had to get rid of that, so anyway. It used to say except, one-family housing
And
except.
is this, how different is this from the one that's in our, open space?
I have no idea.
We have to compare the two. All right, so. What I want for this, I was hoping we could talk about, is there anything that's glaringly, no, we don't want that there, or hey, we forgot about that. Do we have mine? Landfills? I remember my, yeah, I do. That's, I don't think that's the wrong ordinance. This is, replacing the NC Title 16, Section 330.06 to address unlisted and prohibited uses.
Let me say too, that I talked to Riker the other day about possibly inserting that. Language list, whatever, into the ordinance that is describing the procedure for requesting an unlisted use. Because to me, it would be a handy place for people who don't see the use they want listed in their zone. And then therefore go to the chapter telling them what to do in that case. If there's a list of things that we are expressly prohibiting, I think it would be handy for them to have that there. I don't know what you thought about, what you decided about that.
So, I would prefer to keep those separate. However, we could have this section reference that.
Okay,
The only reason for that is that section is specifically referencing business uses. The state code that required that change, it is specific to new and unlisted business uses, not all uses. And so it's a little bit different than what this is trying to accomplish, where this is listing prohibited uses across all zones and it encompasses more than just business uses, so.
And there's two ways to approach prohibited uses, and that is like, a standard across zones or a prohibited use under each zone. Am I correct?
well, that's the thing, is that either we're gonna have to, if we decide there's a long list of things that we don't want anywhere in town. Then, that's gonna have to be in every zone chapter, unless we give it its own chapter, which will allow us to only have 3 or 4, different prohibited uses in each zone chapter. So,
Yeah, so it just depends on what you want to accomplish. It's. In my experience, it's more common to evaluate the prohibited uses based on each zone. So you go through like your commercial zone, your residential zone, and say, these are the uses, and you may have duplicates that go across multiple zones. But the idea is that you're considering those zones, or those uses as they apply to those zones specifically. It's not that you can't do it this way, you can. I'm just used to
right,
across
It's
several
just-
zones, so.
things that we sent on, it's like, why is there this long list of prohibited uses? And it's like, well, where else are we gonna put it, So,
And I'm sure we'll get feedback about the length of the prohibited uses, but that again was at the behest of the town attorney who said
And
if it's
I,
not listed as prohibited.
I'd be interested in perhaps having a conversation with the town attorney just to see, the reasoning behind wanting the list of prohibited uses, because I believe you already have in your code the statement that if uses are not listed, that they're deemed prohibited. And so, there's some points of clarification that I wanna make sure that I understand.
He actually recommended we do both.
Yeah.
So, and this is just the first step. This is not gonna go to,
No,
ready for a vote yet. We need public
we
input.
need to put on what should be on the list, what should,
And we need, and that will give us time to consider the best way to approach it in code.
Madam Chair, just wanted to mention, one of the uses listed as prohibited is multifamily housing. We had a council meeting last night where neither two dwelling ordinance that was pending, passed. However, there was some discussion, there had been, from time to time about creating a multifamily zone, so.
so we will have to remove that one.
Right. But I just wanted
Yeah.
to bring that up, I think at a high level, I think planning commission and council and perhaps some property owners are on the same page about multifamily housing or wanting multifamily housing. The question is, how do you best accomplish that?
Right.
So you could have, in the future, there could be a discussion about introducing a multifamily zone.
Yeah, I know they were interested in it last night, and I feel like it's come up several times, so.
Yes.
Thank you.
At which point we would. if we-
Yeah, we could address it then.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be on the list, I just want to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comments on that? All right. And then, just want to write this down. The next one is agriculture uses in commercial zone. And that came from me, and so Riker, here's the thing. Currently, right now, in the commercial zone, agricultural uses are not allowed. Okay? And I don't think anybody in this room is against agricultural use. And so all this does is add some language to include the following as permitted uses: tilling of soil, raising of crops, horticulture, and gardening, or grazing of livestock. That would be a permitted use.
Okay.
Any comments or thoughts?
Just that's not, I assume we have a definition for agricultural use in the ordinance. So,
We should check on that.
yeah, we should make sure that does what you're trying to do.
I'm just trying. And definitions are in the ordinance.
The definitions, I would think.
Yeah. So if not, we might have to research that one.
So there's a different definition for agriculture and a definition for agricultural industry or business. Agriculture is defined by state code, means the science and art of the production of plants and animals useful to man, including the preparation of plants and animals for human use and disposal by marketing or otherwise.
Okay, so I think that might be a little wide for agricultural use in a commercial zone. So we might want to be more specific than just say agricultural use. Does that make sense?
Yeah, when you're looking at impact of use, agriculture is typically lowest impact. So the intensity of use, regardless of the agricultural activity, is going to be lower impact than one of the commercial uses in the commercial zone.
I remember how it used to smell driving through, Mesquite, when they had that slaughterhouse there. That could engulf the entire town, so that's all I'm saying, is there are
So you could-
streets.
You could. That may be an instance where you go in and prohibit a specific use like that in that zone.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, there are other uses that,
So we could,
why don't we just
do we not have, animal harvesting business currently in town?
I think so.
We do.
But what if we just said raising of crops and grazing of animals? I mean,
Well, that's what it says.
right,
Those are the-
instead of saying,
I know, it doesn't.
oh,
Read it.
then we're
It
fine.
just says tilling of soil, grazing of crops, horticulture and gardening, and grazing of livestock. Those are permitted in commercial.
Oh, already?
No.
No,
this is what it
that's
says.
proposed.
Right now,
I like it.
right now, they're not allowed in
Right.
Yeah.
commercial zones,
Yes.
so this would allow for.
Yeah. I think it would be.
More
it would
specific
be-
ag use.
Yeah, I think it would be a good addition.
Let's just leave it like that, yeah.
Yeah, so Riker, as with all our ordinances, you know, if we start them, we send them to you to
I'll go through it and.
go through it, call me on that one, and format it properly, if we do not.
For sure.
All right, but I think that would be helpful to our community.
Yes.
That's one thing I was able to see was an oversight.
Yeah.
Like it. All right. Can I make the, I'm gonna skip down to the commercial zone one, and then we can spend the rest of our time on the general. Is that okay, with everyone?
Yes.
All right. So Lee and Riker, have you had a chance to look at this?
I looked at the ordinance that was sent over and I have not looked at the summary.
Okay, let's take a moment.
I think it's gonna require a lot of discussion and things, but, we wanted to, talk about it enough to agree to schedule a hearing.
Yeah, we just wanted to see if it was ready for public hearing.
Well, not ready, but
But
that it will be by
it will be, yeah, by Monday.
hearing.
Yeah. Well, he's reading that. Mark, did you ever get an answer to the question about Greenbelt and the zone, the underlying zone?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, there was a question whether, a greenbelt designation in a zone, which, governed whether it was the greenbelt designation or the zoning designation, and it's the zoning designation.
So that was the impetus behind the trying, and
Yes,
if possible, I'd like that adding of the agricultural uses up for public hearing, if that's not too many with the ones that town council is sending our way,
that,
because I know that's
Yes.
timely for some people in our community.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, commissioners, are we good with that?
I'm great with that.
Yes, good.
Riker, is that feasible? We need these documents by Monday, correct, Crystal?
I don't see what our date is for me.
Usually the Monday after our working meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to ask if I may, Riker, you, with the amended uses in the commercial zone, or just, do you have enough time to review?
For the commercial zone or for the, are we talking about the amendment to commercial or the amendment of simply having agricultural uses to commercial.
You're talking about both.
There's two commercial ordinances that we're discussing tonight.
Right, the bigger one, I think.
The larger one will probably require more time to review. For it to be ready for, I would say it's a little quick for it to be ready for a public hearing. That won't give you much time to review that or compare it to any potential conflicts with state code, so.
We can try,
Plan for June.
yeah,
And if it is by chance ready
yeah,
by then I'll make sure to get it.
but definitely the grading
Interesting.
ordinance and
Mhm.
perhaps this agricultural, and I got 3 from town council last night, they're sending our way. Right? Sorry, please.
But we haven't discussed those yet at all, right?
No, they're just up for public hearing.
Oh, they're over the camera.
They're coming to us.
Well, you could set them on, you could put them on June work
We
meeting
can put them on June's work.
before you decide
Okay, cause I,
for a hearing.
one of
Your
the,
call.
yeah, because we have a time period, I think it's 4 months, I looked up that ordinance that just passed. Before we have to get it back to town council. I'd be fine with that.
But that means we couldn't vote on, we couldn't send it to council till July.
July,
Is that okay, do you
Would
think?
you put it on June's work meeting or May's work meeting?
You want to put it on?
Excuse me, May's work meeting.
May's work meeting.
Getting ahead of myself.
Have a public hearing for it in
in
June.
June.
Yes.
Yeah, and vote on it.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the public hearing,
Yeah.
because if we need to amend it,
Yeah, right.
That's
an option.
yeah. All right, so I gotta think about. Because I also want to move the general plan to council. Get that done. Have you read the summary?
Yes, I have.
All right, so
It sounds like we don't have to worry about it, we're not gonna have it up to public hearing.
well, it's maybe, it's maybe, probably not, but a maybe. Is there anything in there off the top of our heads that you had a question about? We're not gonna have a deep discussion. I always like to hear the public's comments before we have our 2 cents, because they always point out good things. Or are we good to go on to our last item? I'm agreeable.
Okay, we've got it in Miranda's hands now.
So I went through all the documents that were submitted, either post-its, and I brought post-its with me. Because they're a little hard to read. And I went through the documents online and I believe Lee did too, and remarked things or comments on them. But that is in our SharePoint folder, public comments. As far as the post-its go, I know I looked at them. Did you have a chance to look at them?
I did.
So when I looked at all the written commentary and the things that I highlighted and commented on in those written commentaries, some were in the form of letters, some actually wrote on the document and submitted it, and Krista scanned it in for us. But I found that all the post-its that had concerns that were directly related to, or comments directly related to the general plan were addressed in one of the other documents. I didn't see anything that stood out that was unique.
Not really.
No, I didn't either.
All right, I just wanted people to know that we read every comment, okay? And then, if we could start with, and I brought a copy of the general plan here so I can make notes on it. Start with Cameron's comments. There it goes. Everybody access that. And I don't know. Is Riker, I don't know if you need to be here for this, you're more than welcome, but it's not ordinance, but it's what guides our ordinance writing, right? Okay, so the first comment, and I'm gonna go by the PDF page. I might say both pages, that I had a comment, wrote a comment that and if someone sees my comments, please save. I know, did they not save? I don't think we saved. I'm gonna cry. I think I can remember that one. It's gotta be somewhere. I saved them. In the general plan. If I edited it. Just take just a moment. Okay, I'm gonna lose faith in SharePoint now. I hit save.
I know, I saw some of your comments, and
Yeah, I don't see any of them.
They're in all different documents, right?
Yeah, but we liked some of Cameron's input.
Right. And others.
Okay, test. Well, let me see, let's go to a different document just for the heck of it and see if they say there.
I'm looking at the bottom one, but it's taking forever.
They are, it is very slow. I'm looking at
what are you looking at now?
Jay Lee's, because I like some of his stuff as well. Internet's slow today. No, it's good. It's working.
This is why I don't see. It says Ken Cornelius. No, he submitted one. With written comments, margins.
Under. No, I did not know. How come it didn't get transferred? I transferred them all. There you go. None of my comments saved. Has that ever happened to anyone before?
What, that your comments are
None of my comments saved. Oh, it's so much work with hours.
Yeah.
Did you put comments on the SharePoint?
And I hit save when it asked me to save them.
Did you put them on the document?
Yes. Not one saved. This is very discouraging. All right.
Isn't this, did you type the,
What page?
page 10 on JV's?
Page 10 on JV.
Yeah, towards the bottom.
Page 10. Page 10 on the document or page 10 on the
Yeah.
PDF?
Yeah.
Maybe they just take longer to come up.
Yeah, maybe.
It's very, what one's done. No, there it is, page 10.
Was issue highlighting it?
Where is it?
Oh, no, those highlights are there, right?
Okay.
No,
Oh,
what's the title of the area? I
Um,
don't see it.
Page 10, it's the goal promote conservation.
leaving.
There. You see it on one?
Page 10 in the PDF,
Environmental element.
Goal promote conservation. It's right above the night sky. So it's under desired outcomes or goals and policies.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't show up on mine.
No comments
Let me
yet.
see. It shows up on
Right
yours.
there. I'm lucky.
Yes. What? Yes, they're on hers. But not on mine. Oh, the blue. Oh. Okay, thank you. So, well, let's start with JV,
Okay.
and you're gonna have to tell us and be our director, okay? That's weird, why would it show up on one screen and not the other?
It's not downloaded.
Oh. Did you download it, Claudia?
No, I just pulled it up fresh again. Just right now.
So, are you saying if I download it?
Cause I've got one here on page 3. I just downloaded it from SharePoint while we did it. So you've got residents are mentioned several times. It talks about focus to all.
Yes. Okay, so we'll download it and then open it.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking it needs to be downloaded.
That's your,
We're gonna try it, keep it down with it.
okay, so you said page 10, right?
Yeah, there's there's notes on page 3 as well.
3?
Under Bishop statement.
No, they're not showing up online.
So,
Okay, what does it say on page 3?
it says residents are mentioned several times, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's actually not a change in the document, okay, but you just wanted to acknowledge that. Next one. 4.
We're starting on page 10?
No, that was page 3.
That was
Oh,
page 3, but stay on page 10.
okay, back there.
Okay.
Page 10, you said, ask other commissioners what their take is on this recommendation.
Okay,
So it's about encourage conservation and sensitive lands through corporations with private and public property and their sensitive lands or
where is it? Promote conservation?
encourage conservation.
Under goal, promote conservation.
Yes.
The third bullet,
Mhm.
where his suggestion was to put the definition of sensitive lands
Mhm.
in the actual general plan. That is listed in 1618 of town code. I think that's a good
I
idea.
do too. Then people aren't balancing them, bother me.
Okay. So I need to make a hard copy of that. So page. And. Remote conversation. And that's actually page 4, should have left that.
Yeah.
Draft. Yeah. Making it here.
I'm just not wrong, that you're saying.
And definitions.
Yeah, so I can see that.
Can you see my comments?
The Post-its?
No, I'm not.
No, she's talking about comments on the actual copy.
Okay, next one.
Well, oh, you're not talking about the Post-it?
She added comments
Into
into
the
the documents that we're looking at now. Right now, we're looking at Jaylee's.
Based on the written comments.
Okay,
On page 15 and 32, what you highlighted was change village.
oh yeah, we need to, take out the new village commercial, because we had language there.
Yeah, she's reading it. Are you,
Yeah,
yeah,
so change village commercial instead of new village commercial. This is under commercial zones enhanced. That's the third bullet down. You highlighted the new village commercial.
Yeah, we might have put the language in other document.
Uh,
And that's page,
page 9.
yeah,
Or,
I think it was decided to say new ordinances may result in
we have it in there.
additional
Probably
commercial.
like Camerons or Gories or. I just forgot.
Oh, you're right, okay.
Okay, so, but that's the, which bullet?
It was the third bullet, no, yeah, third bullet.
Three, yeah, replace language. We will find that language. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Right, next.
Is under floodplain, under Jamie's now, you said there is a section on private property.
Yeah,
on page
and we, yeah, page
8.
yeah.
That's not an edit.
That's not an edit, that's just, in case somebody asks me, I can refer them.
Okay. Um. I can't, is that, so I'm not sure if I'm telling you what. your edits
I
are.
highlighted something, but this is so small, can you make it bigger?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Wow. Yeah, 50%.
Consider passive sidewalks along heavily traveled local roads such as oh, I highlighted the thing about Pocketville Road, just to remind me that, you said it very well, the town doesn't have right of way in that road, some of that road is private property. And this issue came up.
It's not a dedicated road, it's
Yeah.
a historic road.
Yeah, that's it. So when we did the charrettes
Mhm.
for Pocketville, that word became super clear.
Interesting.
And I don't know what effect that has or anything, but, you know, as if you ever wanted to make the road safer, straighter, that would be an issue. So,
Interesting, so we'll have to look at the legal right of way and determine if it is a public right of way or a portion.
fortunately, it is
Private.
private property.
It's extremely dangerous to try and walk down.
Yeah, I'm aware of the condition, but now it sounds like during the charrette, a question came up about whether it's public or private.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, or that it is, you know, and so we can't, what can we, you know, what are,
So the town.
Yeah, we need to establish
what are the parameters?
what type of right of way exists.
Yeah.
So that we know what we can or cannot.
Yeah.
What
That's
option
why-
the town might have to move forward by purchasing land or whatever would be.
Yeah, so sadly, you're working on that.
That's why I highlighted that, but there was no comment.
I think the other one was just a comment too about trash.
Where is it?
It is page. To make it smaller so I can see. Page 27 on this, so,
Yeah, this is it, I'll figure it out.
okay. It's under current condition of public services and facilities element.
Page? Oh. 27 in the document,
Yeah.
21 in the hard copy. And which topic?
Hurricane Valley.
Oh, the one about Hurricane Valley.
It says the town doesn't,
Doesn't contract separately for this.
Yeah. The citizens pay for this service, so.
So, do we need to fix that? Is it true?
When we wanted to know, we figured our staff would be able to tell us that. Mark, do you have a contract?
Yeah, I'm reading through.
I know we have a contract for a certain number of hours for the sheriff.
Do we have that now? That's awesome. I didn't
We've
hear
had
that.
that for years.
No, it's always been.
Yeah, so-
Always been, cause they told me 4 years ago that we didn't have any, cause we couldn't afford it.
Who told you?
Town council?
Really?
Yeah.
So just to clarify, we do contract with the county sheriff for law enforcement, for public safety, and Hurricane Valley Fire District is its own taxing jurisdiction, so
So,
we don't contract with them.
and,
we
or we
do
could
pay
say, and the Hurricane
taxes to cover.
Valley provides. Just instead of, and the Hurricane Valley Fire District for Emergency Services,
So,
and the Hurricane Valley Fire District provides emergency
well, you
services.
can just take the and out.
Or I can reverse those two and put the Hurricane Valley Fire District.
Yeah, this suggestion works, they put a period after
Yeah,
police protection, and then the new sentence could be capital
yeah,
T, the Hurricane Valley District provides
Provides.
fire and emergency services.
Okay, I got that then. Good catch, Jen.
That's an easy.
Okay. Next one. And you don't see it either?
No.
Um,
Do not.
let's see, so it's 31, whatever page that is. So it's the second and the last one, let's see. And.
Oh,
so
it's the same sentence.
25, yeah.
Did I make a comment on that?
I assume that's your comment,
Yeah.
change incorporate to entrance.
Oh. Incorporate to what?
Oh.
Entrance. Enhance, sorry.
Yes.
I can't read.
Yeah.
I will make it larger.
Enhance
Where was that?
on the second sentence, right?
Yeah, so enhance water system infrastructure, so change. Incorporate to enhance existing but underutilized town water resources such as springs, wells, and
Yes.
So. It's under enhance water systems and ensure maintenance of water system. Okay,
We wanted incorporate
okay.
under the first one. We wanna leave.
Oh, the first
incorporate on
one,
the
yes.
first one. Lee's
Yeah.
comment was, it's the same sentence, and like me. Okay, thank you. Now, cross your fingers. Can you open up cameras?
Let's find out. Sorry.
Why do I know, well, we're gonna have to look at. Cornelius.
Yeah.
I thought there was one more. I don't know why it was it in
It
here?
doesn't have a name on it in the file.
Oh.
I didn't know it was anybody's until I thought it was
Hmm.
just these document until I opened it up.
Goals and policies, so. It's 10 on here, so is that probably 8 or something? Goals and policies. You highlighted support innovative, low impact development.
And come on, show up.
I'm nowhere near.
No, what I wanna see is the sidebar. Let me download it.
I'm gonna just show you that. Yeah,
Just hold on. I'll be able to find it easy and so.
okay,
There we go.
so it's page 4 on paper, if that helps.
On paper?
Well, on the numbering system on the.
Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay.
So the sidebar is the big comment.
Ooh, that's the one we wanted to include.
Yeah, support and very low impact
Yeah.
development.
We liked,
Love that.
yeah, support innovative, low impact development techniques. that enhance environmental quality and allow compatible growth as a goal. So I'm not gonna write in the second, but I'm gonna make a note. Oh, You got,
I can't get that.
you can't.
I'll go exploring for the next one while you're doing that.
Can you? When we're through download your copy, what browser are you using? Using Chrome? Chrome. Might try opening it with another browser on your phone, but when we're through, can you download those documents? Download one, open it, see if the comments are there, and then save it as a PDF or something.
Yeah.
And then we can mail it. And then if the comments are saved in the PDF, we can just pop it back in that folder.
Okay.
Okay, so add a goal. Cameron. Okay, got that. All right, next one.
The next one is page 16. Or 22 of 32. And you wrote a note, support planned improvements to Sheepridge Road.
Oh, yes, but
We wanted to,
yeah,
yeah, make sure that.
is that improvements to Sheepridge Road? Yeah, we decided we wanted. True. We agreed that that's not a goal. We agreed with this comment and we restated it, right?
Yeah.
That we want to support the construction
No
of,
planned improvements. Yeah.
plan improvements from county.
I know that Jean said last night that she heard that they're going to start work on that. Do we know what they're actually going to put in on the road and what they're going to avoid? Did we ever get any information back from them? Like, you know, they talked about doing bridges, they talked about, and we sent a whole bunch of information to a gentleman and he didn't show up.
You did.
Yeah, but I gathered it from a ton of people and then he quit and moved somewhere else. So we,
And the town said, memorandum or?
Yeah, so let me see if I can answer that. So it's a paved surface. There are three, I don't know if underpass is the right term, but for the trails, for the single track mountain
But
bike.
not in Virgin Town.
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Right, and then, the town council did send a resolution encouraging them to add, bike and pedestrian facilities to that project. I have since talked to the county administrator and, they hope to do that. So funding for design for those facilities has been secured,
Oh,
but funding for construction has not been.
Yes.
So it will be designed, and in the meantime, they'll try to identify funding to construct them. So the good news is they want to do it,
That's pleasant.
they're planning to do it.
Uh-huh.
The bad news is they don't yet have the funding to actually construct those facilities yet, but.
okay, because the top part of the road that is in Virgin, they also had planned and that's been ignored.
Well, that's what
for a
we're
couple years
talking,
now.
that's what we're talking,
Right.
that's what you're talking about, right? Well, the Virgin part of the road.
No.
Well, we're talking about the entire,
The whole road.
yeah, we'd like to see that on the entire road.
Yeah, but they
Because-
just haven't done what, and they said they were going to do it, they said they had funding for it, the first part of it.
Is that right?
Yeah, but nothing's.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, so that's good to know for future.
Okay.
So Claudia, can you read on page 15 of the document, 16 of the document? Wait a minute. There is mention of Sheepridge Road twice.
No.
So I just know, if you go to page 15, everyone, work closely with the county to ensure the town needs and concerns are met as they work to improve Sheep Ridge Road.
No, I see.
When completed, it will provide an alternate all-weather access. And that is under transportation and circulation element,
Yeah.
and then it say convenient, safe, and efficient systems, goals and policies, and then on page 22 of the document, page 16 of the actual document, 22 of the PDF, there's another goal, improvements to Sheep Ridge Road, and that one we're proposing to change the language. Can you read that
I can
aloud?
see your, I can see your comments now.
Oh, you can?
Yes. I downloaded it.
So did I. Are you using Chrome?
I don't think so.
No, I'm not using Chrome either, I'm using the other one, whatever it is. Anyway, support planned improvements to Sheep Ridge Road, including county's plan to provide a multi-use path along it that allows residents and visitors safe access.
We were thinking about something that is the goal. Rather than what's currently written there under that.
I think that's a good goal, we just need to clean it up a little
Clean
bit.
it up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do we have better language for that? I wish I could see it. Can you see the comments yet, Craig?
No, yeah, that's a good one. I don't see what's written on the PDF, but not any comments made by the commission, though.
Neither's mine.
We'll just clean it up a little bit and then it'll be.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me just make a note on this hard copy, because I'm going to do that. And that is on page 16.
I would actually.
Revise this
Yeah.
this is Cameron's, right?
Yeah. But it doesn't matter, it needs to be on the
All right,
draft.
okay,
Next is 19, page 19.
yeah. Of the actual document,
Yeah.
which is page 25
Mhm.
of the PDF. Okay,
We have desire to increase the variety of commercial uses.
which bullet point or
That's under
current conditions?
no, desired outcomes is where it belongs.
Yeah,
And what was the comment?
Desire to increase the variety of commercial uses
Instead of,
instead of, no, we don't. I don't know what, I don't know.
from public document, there is a desire to increase the variety of commercial
That's
uses.
okay. That's where it goes.
See, I remember what I said.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of time. 25, economic development. From public, there is a desire for increase. And increase,
oh, to increase the variety of commercial uses.
to increase the variety.
Mhm.
It's always better to be in the present tense.
Mhm.
Okay. Did we have a comment on 20?
No,
Encourage new families with affordable. No, we decided that was it.
we just, that didn't really belong in that section.
I did. He did. That was the comment of the president. Did we have comments on that?
We agreed
We agreed.
that it's
Okay,
a good thing to say, but it doesn't belong in that section.
okay, and so we have to relocate it, or,
And it's possible that that exact thing is covered elsewhere in there until another reading. of
so
it.
that, yeah,
We have to look
page,
for it.
and that's on page 20. I just want to make a note here.
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps relocate. It might be better under housing,
Yeah, so I
That would be good.
to housing. And this is.
I went and started reading through housing again, and I couldn't find something that said that, but I didn't have the time to do it thoroughly, so,
Yeah, it might have, supposed to have been there.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Those two I'll get next.
Are we done?
Yeah.
So that's campus.
Yeah, there was nothing.
No more blue comments.
No,
Okay.
blue comments.
Okay.
Close that.
Fingers crossed. Let's go to Lori.
Okay. Yeah,
I can't see it.
um,
Hopefully when I get home. Hers were more. They were. We're gonna have to figure out where.
where they fit,
Yeah,
okay,
so just as long as I have it.
yeah, we'll save them again, but I bet if you go in and out and in again, I know.
You think so?
Well, I'm gonna think positive, yes.
Happens to me.
Simply could, so. Probably I'm the only magical one. Well, maybe by next month I'll be over my cold.
Oh, it's gonna be forever.
Tired of it?
Okay, fingers crossed.
Okay.
But. We're in.
I see your blue comments in this one, and I haven't downloaded it, so. I don't know what that means.
Public comments, right?
Mm.
No? So,
Okay, so the second blue comment, we might want to act on, it says, where could we incorporate this into the plan? And then
what is
this
it?
is preserving character and quality of existing neighborhoods, agricultural uses, irrigated fields, shade trees, big trees, and quiet pleasant town. We may already address those things, but we need to make sure, I guess.
Okay, so on hers, I'm gonna download it, open it up. And mark on it on that document, download a document. So what's the first thing we highlighted or commented on? Is it that?
There was one above it, you made a comment about public input, cause.
Oh, yeah, do we want to add any of our, the survey summary results? As part of the general plan?
I think it's part of the general plan.
I don't know.
I think it belongs in an appendix in the general
It
plan.
could be like that.
That would be appropriate.
That would be,
Riker, I don't know if you have, based on your experience, would it be an appendix?
Yeah, typically, when we produce general plans, it's supposed to just provide summary results in the plan.
and this is the. It's gone.
It got moved during a special event, we'll get
So
that.
that's the map we were going to include, but that's a zoning map.
Yeah,
We don't have
A future land use.
future land use.
which we should,
Yeah,
but
But I-
you could make that a separate.
Correct, and amend the general
Project.
plan. I would like to
It's
do that,
incorporated.
so we can,
just like we
Keep
do
this
with
moving.
correct,
capital facilities, which also belong.
and so we could also include our zoning map in here, Kevin Smedley made that.
Sure.
For this,
Yeah.
and then I want to have a future land use map, I don't think we've ever.
No, that's why we have the location sections that are specific about where certain zones should be,
Right.
because we can afford to get a future land use map.
Right, and just so you know, Riker and I had talked about that recently, and that is a best practice for any comprehensive
Yeah.
Or master plan that
Because-
I've ever worked on, and I think Riker would agree.
The other point that came up after reading Lori's comments, or Rose's comments, was we don't really have any discussion of demographics in our general plan.
Oh, sure.
Do we want to add that?
I
And that would
see
be
those
good.
in general plans is in, near the front of the plan,
Yeah.
just to provide context.
Yes.
You know, it's part of the
Existing
introduction.
Yeah.
Cause I looked at some plans, Lori sent us some samples, and they did.
Mhm.
The
They
sample,
usually have that.
even if it's brief. Yeah, I know we described in a different section, is it environmental, that we described the weather and all that kind of stuff. But we don't describe who lives here.
Right.
So that might also address Jamie's concern about mentioning residents. You know, this is who lives here, you know. That, and that's just one part, the demographics. We may even have I'll go back and look at our summary of the survey.
And
He may have written a summary.
Yeah, and if I may add, in terms of demographics, typically you would also use trend data. So it wouldn't just be
Yes,
for
correct.
calendar year 2025, this,
Correct.
these were our demographics. Typically, you're gonna see a 5 or more year
Yeah, I've seen
trend,
like
how,
every,
how population's increasing or decreasing, so on and so forth.
and that shouldn't be too hard.
I don't think we have build out numbers either, and I think that would be useful,
Yeah,
although it's a little tricky.
yeah, but typically that information is pretty readily available, the
So
demographic information.
add as appendix. Survey results, right?
Yeah.
And demographic section. Okay. Anything else on Lori's?
No, not with your comments, no.
A lot of these are good ideas for ordinances.
Yeah.
I think if we don't mention streetscape, we need to make sure it gets mentioned.
So that's from here too. Did we highlight that?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
well, no, we didn't highlight, let's highlight, I don't know who highlighted it. Me. Oh, the brown? That was you?
Yellow.
Oh, yellow, okay.
Yes, I highlighted and had blue comments.
Okay. What about the regional trail system? We don't mention,
Yeah.
that should be mentioned, probably. Supporting the.
Oh, yeah, the reason we wanted to do streetscaping and the regional trail, especially the streetscaping, is if it's part of our general plan. Doesn't that help funding opportunities?
Yes, it can do that for sure.
Yes, and we've been talking about having a streetscape plan for 20 years here.
Yeah, and the master transportation plan that was adopted in 2023 is consistent with that as well.
Yeah, so we wanna make sure those are there.
Especially since,
Anything else? Highlighted or wasn't?
the wildfire management.
So with this new wildfire, they keep saying you must have this in your general plan, like the water, like we already did that. Wildfire mitigation, but is that our purview or is that the state and the property owner's purview?
Yeah, I've not seen that in a
Yeah,
general plan, Riker. I don't know if you have experience with.
pretty neat.
Recently, they've started talking about referencing that. As far as what state code requires, I don't know if you're required to have a standalone wildfire.
Referencing it in the general plan or just,
Correct. There's some requirements, but as far as I understand right now, Virgin isn't required to comply with those requirements. I'd have to confirm that.
to put it in the general plan?
Correct. I'd have to confirm that, but
Yes, can you,
that's fairly recent, and I don't know that it would apply to this amendment. I'd have to go into state code and see. If it was a change, it changed within this current legislative session, and there would be a date at which that would be applicable.
but once again, if there are any funds available for homeowners to ameliorate things, having it in our general plan, or for the city to help homeowners. I just wondered, having a reference in our general plan, a whole section.
I don't wanna create,
Is there currently a hazard section in your plan?
is it still there?
Like an environmental or?
We used to have a whole chapter on it.
No, in the general plan.
Oh, in the general plan?
No,
No, we don't have that. I've been wishing for a long time that we could work toward putting maybe all the power go underground. Because so many of the fires that have happened here in Virgin have started from transformers and power wires, above ground wires, and I just think
should we,
it's something that infrastructure money should go toward. But anyway,
I don't think we have anything on hazard. Would that be public services or?
It could be included within that, yes. It's not required to be a standalone, zoning,
No,
but
But
your
we
general
should
plan
address
can address.
that's all I'm saying, not standalones, but just would it benefit our residents or the town, especially in obtaining funding to help with some of these things if they're mentioned in our general plan?
It may,
I've not noticed hazard. Do you have an idea of a place that currently has hazard language in the general plan for us to look at?
there's a couple of different communities, like I said, it's an optional choice.
So they have a whole section.
Some communities opt to have an entire section that addresses environmental hazards. That may include,
I think ours would fit either, I wouldn't do a separate section in the vehicle.
I mean,
If we decide,
right, we could put it in environment.
we could put it in environment. Right, so to consider adding. What was the other one? Hazards? I.e. wildfires? Maybe we could incorporate it in the same areas that we talked about flash flooding.
Yes, depending on where that is,
Yeah.
under water.
Yeah. Yeah. Under environment, okay. All right, okay, that one's done?
Yeah, that's done.
Okay. Oops. Next one is paths. Try this. I was opening it from, a pinned thing. Let me open it from the link. Pat, Calvus? Yeah. So on his, we looked at the red things. The red things are, and there's a few written words in red, and then there's some highlighting in red. And we looked at,
Your comments show up on that.
well, they did for you. But we still
It's just for me.
Oh, now I see them. Okay, all right, okay, yay, now that we're almost done.
Yeah. Only one.
So. The first one I haven't, I highlighted his in blue because he already had yellow. And, I think we already have archaeological under preservation, sensitivity to the environment. Seems to me when I read it, it was already there.
It is, yeah.
Huh?
I remember it being.
Yeah. And, the next one, he talked about. Oh, encourage the development, I think, didn't we talk about James?
I can't read, this is too little.
We'll make it bigger.
Are you talking about growth management?
You know, I can read it. The
development, encourage the development of higher density, lower cost housing.
Okay, he was objecting to that, I take it.
Encourage. Did we talk about? I think we.
Allow for, we talked about saying allow for.
We wrote that somewhere.
Yeah, it's in, maybe still in this document later.
Okay, but that's under, see where it says private property protection. That's
And
where
it
it
says
says.
desired outcomes, you wrote current and future housing needs to include some affordable options. Is
Yeah,
that where you're looking?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked about that, but I guess we didn't make a note.
Encourage, do we wanna keep that word encourage?
I don't know. Some people want to encourage it, some people don't.
Investigate. I'm just thinking of what word could we use instead?
I like allow for.
I like allow for. Instead of encourage?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, let me go there, growth management, housing. Is that housing or land use?
It's, I don't know.
Let me find out. Desired commercial use. Land use element. Okay. Orderly growth. Private property protection.
Where are you?
Orderly growth. Where do you get that?
It's ahead of where it says housing element. It looks like we got that under land use element.
Yeah. It's good, I was I've never heard of it. What did you say? Allow?
Allow for.
Okay. Next one is under housing, under desired outcome affordability, and that's where we change the language to current and future housing needs to include some affordable options.
Better.
Yeah.
Okay. Housing. Okay, see,
That's about it.
see language from F G.
I think we're done with his.
That's it. We didn't have a lot of comments. And then, my apologies, I did not know how this happened. Where did you find that other one?
It's at the bottom.
Of what?
Oh, wait.
Oh,
No, it's S Virgin Town 2602
there's no name on it. I thought it
Right.
was just like an agenda.
I know, I didn't know what it was either, but it's.
Okay. Do you see that one, Claudia? Okay,
Person term. Oh, there it is.
and this. Pennies?
Yeah.
Have you already read through?
No, I just started to and then I didn't know it was there till we were here.
The one from Ken?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Look for, okay, page 10 is the first one I think we should look at contradictory sentences. Page 10.
In the dot?
On the PDF, it is page 4 in the doc.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was one place.
So
Yes,
that kind of addresses Lori's. He was asking about that too. Make as little environmental impact as possible. Maybe whether it's understood.
so what do we think about that? They do contradict each other. Except,
Okay, preserve natural drainage passages wherever possible. And use approved alternative divisions where required. And require new development to maintain and enhance floodways while keeping safety as high priority.
it's the enhanced that is contradictory with the undisturbed, but
Do we just get rid of enhanced then?
yeah, that word.
Maintain the place while keeping, yeah, that works. To maintain. Do you, John, do you guys see where we're at? Or we like put you to sleep?
This is
I'm
interesting.
having some issues navigating,
Yeah.
but I got it.
Next comment is on the page 5 of the document, page 11 of the PDF. What is the definition of view shed? I don't think this is a document to do that.
No, I don't know,
But
I mean. We could have one in the ordinance.
we have one in our definitions.
Exactly.
So. What page did I say that was? 5. I consider that it might be there, you know, because that is a legal opinion.
What's it?
I think it's a legal term.
Oh, yeah. Page 8, I think.
Virgin municipal code.
Well, we hear this, we've heard this a few times. Maybe Riker can answer that question for us.
Growth management,
Yes, why put families next to commercial and highway?
there's a buffer.
It's asking why you put higher density next to services.
Right.
So,
It's buffer.
yeah, but so. A lot of communities, their standard practice is to feather out the intensity of their use. Higher density housing is higher intensity usage, but not as high as commercial. Lower density housing is less intense usage, and so. And
Plus,
lots of communities go commercial, high density, medium density, low density.
there's also an issue of affordability, that the denser stuff is more affordable than people who don't want to have a car could be next to where the public transportation and the commercial uses are. Makes sense, but I mean, we're kind of a small town for that. Which has also been a comment, some of it, but.
And then his next one is
Makes perfect
on
sense to me.
page 10 of the document, page 17 of the PDF. It's the same thing. Oh, wait, maybe not. Is there higher density could be considered adjacent to commercial uses? Commercial property has a more, most higher value,
It says commercial property has a higher value,
much higher value.
much higher value, but I'm not sure that's true. I mean, for years, and maybe it's not quite the way it was, residential land here was worth a heck of a lot more than commercial. You know, and maybe it still is. It kind of looks that way. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter.
Put, protect. Could protect, and I can't, we've seen a squeaky wheel.
Sorry.
Where are you? Sorry, page 16 of the document, I don't know what page, oh, there it is, page 22 of the PDF. pet project. Greasing a squeaky wheel, it's in the home. Viewers, develop pocket villas in neighborhood type of a non-major scale. And I think he agrees with that one. And, okay,
Well, I mean, just everything you said before, we have to think about Pocketville Road a little differently, so.
he really doesn't like the higher density adjacent to commercial.
Yeah, it doesn't. But that kind of makes sense what you said, Rick, so.
I don't know what this drawing is. That's it? Okay, all right. But we got at least one nugget out of this. Having a definition. Okay, did I miss anything else there?
There's a drawing at the very end.
I have no idea what that is.
Neither.
He was probably speaking to someone
Yeah,
and sketching.
yes.
I hope, because I am too. All right. So what I propose as next steps is I will take it, it will be my job to go through, because I have a Word document of this and make all the changes that we talked about. If, I think I marked that one where we want to sweeten the language. And, my goal then is to, I would assume these changes would require another public hearing. Correct?
I would think so.
And then.
You agree?
With the general plan?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would suggest that with.
This will be our fourth one.
But they will, the town council will have to have a public hearing on the plan as well. State code requires that a public hearing be held at the planning commission and at the town council level.
No, both, okay.
It's been a long time since we had here on the general plan.
Well, we had that open house, but
Yeah,
we can definitely have a public hearing in both because we've had multiple public hearings
Yeah.
on this. And send this, my hope is to have this one go for a public hearing in June. And it'll be this. We want to talk about the demographics we want to add, right? Well, I don't know, what are your thoughts about the hazard language work? Do we just amend it later on, or?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I have a meeting tomorrow morning with, the lieutenant from the fire district to talk about HB 45 and wildland, fire legislation, and I will ask that question. See if he can provide some direction, whether it's appropriate or.
Very interesting.
I'm hoping that we can make some amendments later to this general plan. Anyway, so I would like to have something about aging in place.
Aging in place,
Yeah.
where is that language?
I have it somewhere. I could give it to you. You could put it in there. If we figure out.
Well,
Just read it.
And the same thing goes for the hazard stuff, I guess the wildfire stuff. If Mark can get back to you.
yeah, because we're having another final public hearing.
Yeah,
So aging in place, where would that go? Wildfire would be environmental.
I don't know, I have to think about that. But I will suggest a location where,
Because I don't want a new chapter, we have enough chapters. And then,
Worked into the language wherever appropriate.
yeah, public services, perhaps. It should be another argument for having, this smaller dwellings and
Right.
joint dwellings.
yeah, it could affect almost every element.
Mhm,
So maybe one sentence per chapter to
mhm.
draw attention to it.
You're talking about
Aging.
aging in place.
Mhm.
Yeah, my suggestion would be under your housing element.
Under what?
Your housing element.
Housing. Okay, I guess I'm thinking it affects trails and,
Accessibility.
yeah. but
Housing would be your primary
the primary.
area where it's going
And then
to
maybe
affect.
public services.
You could reference another chapter, but at least in my experience, that's typically where you address
Okay,
the different life stages as far as they
okay,
affect that, so.
great. All right,
So. Riker's going to. For sure, are we all on board with the addition of agriculture as a permitted use with that language for public hearing? Are we on board, what's the other one, the grading changes?
Absolutely.
There were 3 changes, right?
For the grading ordinance?
Yeah.
And so it was the pre-application procedure. The 60 days from notice to proceed as opposed to from
Correct.
issuance. And the review timeline language.
Okay,
he's got upset, yes.
the one that was left out.
Yes, it was brought up. Prior to the vote.
So public hearing, I just wanna know before we leave, what's going for public hearing. I thought we had to put those 3 that the town council are sending us.
Well, yeah, so
Of
let's,
public hearing.
yeah, thank you. I wanted to circle back to that. I don't know what has typically been planning commission's practice there, but you could schedule a hearing, hold it, then
That's
discuss that
what we
work,
do.
or you could do vice versa.
We
So,
always hear the public first.
okay,
and
We
then-
like to
then I
go
would
through
suggest that.
input.
So we have the public hearings?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me go through what those were. I have to go back to my agenda for the town council.
However, it also causes us to have second public hearings pretty often, but
It does,
Potentially.
yeah.
So new and unlisted businesses,
We
joint,
could vote on it if there were no major changes right after,
yeah,
you know.
it's a top-down thing that.
Yeah.
So grading ordinance will be going up for public hearing next month. Prohibited uses we're waiting on. Is that correct? Or are we, oh no, it's just starting, so we're gonna go ahead with that one. And then we'll modify it.
Yeah,
Did I get that right?
except. I guess we're gonna just have to keep putting it in every zone chapter. Putting a long list in.
And that's, and
That's the.
the main purpose of the public hearing is to get input on the items there.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with getting some input on the list of prohibited uses. At a public hearing, and then.
This would not ever be voted on as.
Then the commission could determine if you wanted to continue with a standalone chapter, or if you want to systematically go through each zone and add specific prohibited uses
Okay,
to specific zones.
so we'll decide after we hear from the public.
Well, let's see how many items we have for public hearing. As well. So the agricultural uses, that's pretty straightforward. We're gonna wait on the commercial so you can review it, right?
Unless it gets done fast.
Yeah, that's a June one, unless it gets done fast, right, by Monday. And then, we go back to what the town council gave us and look at these notes. We sent us unlisted business, right?
Yeah,
They sent us the Joint Utility Commission. And they sent us site plan review.
Correct.
That's 6. Without So here's the question. Do we want to think about and make a decision about how we want to approach prohibited uses before having a public hearing on the uses?
Well, that's what Riker was just saying, if we want to wait and see how many we end up with and. But I mean,
He said there was not a problem having a hearing just to get input on the list.
on the list.
But my question is, that gives us 6 items, maybe 7, off chance of 7. Do we want to just? Move prohibited uses to June, or keep it there and get it on the book?
I think we should keep it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't think it's very likely that we'll get the commercial one this month.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Additionally, one of those ordinances from the town council, is contingent upon receiving some comments from me. That's the, site plan ordinance. And so if we don't have those prior to Monday,
Okay, figure that.
Well, and on that, Riker, I followed up with Keith after the meeting, he got approval on it.
okay.
So I think we're good.
We're good.
But thank you for mentioning that.
All right, so Crystal. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did you get that list?
Yeah, you have to send them all to me.
I'm gonna call it to you. Mark, will you send those 3 to me?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll send the agricultural prohibited uses. Riker, I need that Monday, so I could, by Monday, so I could send it to her.
Do you want me to send it to you first, or do you just want me to make sure?
She likes to get one email of all in, and I respect that.
So, with the 3 from council, there was specific. Yeah, tweaks, so I'll make those adjustments.
Correct, so you've got, I'm sorry, I have a lot of work to do.
Great. But I'll get those tweaks to you.
And Crystal, I apologize for having 6.
Okay.
And Mark, I kind of heard this yesterday. We're not using all of our signs for public hearing. Is it?
Yeah, our signs have kind of gotten quite weather beaten, and so we're gonna look at, and I've got to touch base with the mayor on this, but perhaps reduce the number, put them in strategic locations that we think are most effective, and then look at getting a higher quality sign that holds
It's
up.
no longer required by code.
It's never been.
It's never been,
That was a misunderstanding.
it's going up, that's my understanding.
No,
It's not required.
It's never been required by code, we just done it because.
It's
We said.
gone above and beyond.
The only thing that's ever been required by code was that it had to be noticed on the public notice website, the town's website, and where the meeting is being held.
So like at Desert Gardens, we just need one at our entrance.
So there's no new,
Well, no, that's where technically it just needs to be noticed where the meeting is being held for a public notice,
Yeah.
yeah. If it's a, like a subdivision or a zone change, then we have to have those zone,
Oh,
that has to be out, saying that the zone
Okay.
is being changed.
okay.
Just that poster has to be saying this zone is being changed in it. And
Yeah.
we put those
On that piece of property.
on the piece of property, that does, but, we're looking actually, like, have you seen, what are they called? Here, just send them to me, they're called trail,
Or a pedestal based sign that may have
like a lock.
cabinet that you can open it. With notice in it.
That can't be sold.
Like, yeah, it's kind of cemented, like, they're called trail signs. You know, they're about like this big, so it has a little key, you open it up, they pin it in there, and close it,
Yeah,
little post.
like in the
that
national
would be-
Yeah, like little trail signs.
I have to say, when whoever took it down in front of our house, I was thrilled, because I was felt guilty, because I'd go out and it would be blown down, so.
Well, that's the problem, they're blown down and
They get
now
wet.
the things are weather rotted and they're falling apart and it
Yeah.
put something in it, the sign blows away and we're struggling.
Yeah.
2 years in, we're struggling with them, and they're expensive. That's the problem, they're expensive to replace, so.
And under each one of those, we can add a free little library.
There you go.
With the little, library books, we've got lots of books.
Yeah.
I got lots of books, you just hell right, you know.
Wouldn't that be cool? Because they'd be situated in neighborhoods.
That would be.
That would be
That'd be a great community project.
It would.
Now we're not have a lot of books, now we've got
Now
something,
we've got something fun going on.
got something, but, yeah, so
Well, that's,
it's in the works.
so Mark Reichard, do you have anything else to bring up to the community while we're in public session?
I do not.
So I'll take a motion to adjourn this, work meeting.
Do we need one?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay. And it is 7:00. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.